Dobar dan. Prvo, ima li iko ovdje da priča engleski samo isključivo? Does anybody speak only English? You? Okay, then because of him, I don't feel singled out. Don't feel singled out. But you are singled out. No, I'm just joking. So we'll do this in English so everybody can understand then. Well, first off, my name is Ivor. I work as a dev at 4.0 Venture Labs in Zagreb with a fellow that's back over there called Andre. Hello, Andre. So we will be talking to you about SUI and development on SUI specifically. So I would like to ask also, is anybody here not in development? Okay, so do you guys maybe know what blockchain is? Like, do we need to cover, you know, the basics, or no, you guys are good? We can start with the presentation. Now, before we start with the presentation, actually, I would propose that you guys go and, oh, 1 second. Do you guys go to the official SUI Docs? So, wait, I can just, maybe, oh. You can go to official SUI Docs, to guides, and install SUI, and just follow what is said here while we do the presentation on like the basics of the SUI ecosystem. So when that is done, we can just get straight into the smart contract and what it does and how to publish it. And you guys can create your own wallets and publish everything, and we'll sort that out, okay? Okay, yeah, another thing, when we will be creating wallets, I will be, wait 1 second. You guys can go, to codeshare.io/Belgrad. I will be sharing some different links, like we will share, for example, firstly, like the GitHub repository here. Wait, we'll share the GitHub repository here, so you guys, if you don't like want to, you know, type it all out, you can just copy paste the code, and we'll talk about it, what it does and everything. Maybe that would be easier for you. It's a public repository, so you guys should be fine and should have access to it immediately. So let's get started with the presentation then. So, Web3 developers overall, we can separate them into newcomers, emerging developers, and established developers, with newcomers being those who worked in Web3 for less than a year, emerging developers being those who worked in Web3 from 1 to 2 years, and established developers from 2+ years. Now, the emerging developers are growing and established developers are steady. That is like what the data shows throughout the last couple of years, and this is the most recent data, so I don't know if you guys can see this maybe on that screen there, but newcomers are being lost at 52% in comparison to last year. That's 9K devs. Emerging developers are pretty steady with like a low decline of 84, but established developers are growing, which means that mostly people who actually get into it and who like this, who start working on it, they stay. They find it, you know, the best option for them. And maybe it's the best option for you. Maybe you will like it if you give it a chance. And that's basically what we want to tell you here. So ecosystem of SUI, there is 300+ projects being built upon SUI. There's a lot of them in a lot of different specters, from DeFi to gaming to NFTs, etc. And we will cover that overall. But like I said, there's a bunch of things going on SUI, and there's constantly new emerging things and new projects happening on SUI as blockchain. On-chain metrics, this picture right there was taken from SUI Explore. That was last week. I think we took it last week, Summer Friday. So this is probably even more now. You can always go and check that out. If you go, just Google SUI Explorer, this will be the first thing you see for mainnet. So overall, there's been 2.83 billion transactions since the mainnet test launch. There has been 1.13 billion total transaction blocks, with a current market cap of 1.74 billion and almost 9 million registered users. Let's, you know, help out and let's get to that 9 million with you guys, right? Probably this is, like I said, from last week, so it's pretty up to date when it comes to data, and it shows that like a lot of things are actually happening on SUI, and there's constant transactions, there's constant motion, right? Now, validators are like top validators on SUI are here on the right. That's also like data from last week, so I'm pretty sure that should be correct. And the total number of SUI staked is around 8.3 billion almost by validators and delegators, who mostly are basically like top 10 hold most of it, right? Not most of it, but like a good sum, right? It's Figment, it's Mist and 2, Mist and 1, Block Daemon, Trade and 1, 4pt.O org, etc. Mist is, for those of you who don't know, they are the ones that developed SUI, so those second and third are basically like their validators. And the average API of all of the participating validators is around 3.39%, and it's around 104 validators in total across 10 countries. So pretty spread, right? NFD marketplaces on SUI are pretty wide. Like there's a lot of options where you can go with, but the two biggest are Clutchy and Bluemove, with Bluemove being the biggest, like said here. So they have around 3.2 million SUI in volume. There's a lot of stuff you can go check out, you know, see the NFTs they got. You can buy some, you can trade some, do whatever you want with them. They're pretty cool. I mean, I looked at them, you know, it's a decent user experience. It looks nice, and these are the two I would personally recommend, Clutch and Bluemove. I like them the best. And generally, the SUI NFT marketplaces are, you know, there's a lot of things happening here, and there's a lot of options when it comes to that. It's not only these two. You also have, I noted here, SUI Gallery, Keepsake, and Tradeport. Those are some of the larger ones, but there's like really a lot of options. You can go deep into this, right? SUI NFTs, so hundreds of native collections and thousands of collectors, creators, artists, etc. There's more than 28.42 million NFTs on chain, which is a lot, and with 11.2 million SUI in total volume across those NFTs for SUI, so pretty good. One example that I thought stood out is SUI Friends. It's a cool little app. If you can see this image on the right, you can go and create your little SUI friend. That's basically an NFT. You can like modify it, put some clothes on him, etc. It's pretty cool. It's pretty basic, but like it's, you know, a nice thing to play around if you're interested. You can go check it out. And so for SUI Friends, they're interoperable with numerous D-apps and services across the SUI system, which is pretty cool, I think. You can actually use it elsewhere, and you can find some practical use to it outside of only the SUI Friends app, right? SUI Gaming. SUI Gaming it's 40 plus established games ranging from indie to AAA. There's a lot of things you can do. There is a Unity engine for SUI, so there's already, you know, things there to help you with development. I would say that there is a lot of advantages to gaming when it comes to blockchains in general. There's a lot of things that you could do with blockchains and gaming, and I believe SUI as a system itself, as an ecosystem, as a blockchain, really offers. You will see that when we will be going through the smart contract, like the workshop that we prepared for you today. It's a different approach to maybe if you're used to Solidity or something else. It's a different approach because it's more like object-oriented. Everything with SUI is an object, and it kind of it creates this, for me, when I think about it, it's for gaming, things you could use is like skins, weapons, I don't know, items for characters, players, whatever. That can really be transferred into the SUI ecosystem easily, and it's perfect for that. So SUI Gaming is also great, and you should really give it a try if you're developing some games. If you want to develop some games in Unity, that's, you know, go for it. Try fit something in, you will see it's pretty cool. DeFi. Now, DeFi is also mostly about numbers, so I will say 508.09 million total value locked in different DeFi platforms, with the biggest being DEX, lending, borrowing, etc. That's 150 million in volume for the last 24 hours. No, that was a week ago. It's probably a little bit of a different number, but it's around that range still today. For the last 24 hours, and you can see some of the landscape on these images of, you know, what the SUI DeFi space offers in terms of like services, already existing products, etc. Right? Okay, SUI developer tools. So there is an online IDE supporting Move programming language. You can try it out if you want to try running the contract today. It's just Move IDE. You can type it in on Google, open it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty cool. Sometimes when they update something, it might have some issues for a couple of hours with working. But you know, if that's the way you want to go about it, if that's how you want to develop on SUI, it exists. It's there. They have enabled location-aware smart contracts, which is also pretty cool when it comes to developer tools, and it's really useful. As you all know, all of you that are in development, it's important for a lot of apps, and the apps could really use that. Like I said, Unity and Unreal Engine SDKs are enabling ease of integration within the gaming space, and there are reliable RPC endpoints for developers like Node Infra, for example, which is also a good tool to have in development. Okay, Launchpads. I mean, I will just say there's a lot of them. Like you can see, SUI Pad, Hulu Finance, etc. I won't count all of them, but there's really, if you want to start with SUI, if you have an idea, if you want some support, etc. This is where you should be looking at, and this is where you should probably start, because these Launchpads can really be helpful, and they can help you out with your development and with your idea. If you have any idea to develop something on SUI, this should be really useful, right? So SUI Pad, SUI Start, CPad, Token are like one of the bigger ones, but there's, as you can see on this image, a lot of them, right? Wallets, we will be using one of them today. You will all hopefully open a wallet and deploy a smart contract on chain. You will see that it works, but overall there are 15 plus current wallets. There's a lot of options. We'll probably be just using like the base SUI wallet, and that is like I said here, native open source wallet for developers and users alike. You will see how it works. I think it's pretty simple. Like, we will create a wallet through CLI. Just so you guys see how one would do that. We will connect it with the SUI wallet. We will transfer some tokens. That's why we opened the code share, so you can actually paste your wallet addresses, so we can transfer some SUI to you guys, so you can publish a contract. There's also like ZK login options, which we've been working on for the past, couple of months, I would say, for some programs, like if you want like SSO integration or something like that. That's always an option through there, and it's pretty simple. I would say it's pretty simple to implement. It's not that tough, and the user experience overall is really good. Okay, social. Now, when it comes to SUI social, like the biggest players are Coming Chat, SUI Name Service, Polymedia Profile Plus Chat, etc. There's always options for any kind of social development when it comes to like messaging apps, some thread apps or something like that. So we can really support that, because like the transactions on SUI are really, really not that expensive, and this is not that tough to do with something like that being said. And we can enable users to like browse, claim SUI domain names, etc. Proof of contribution NFTs created by different D apps. Like, there's a lot of things really happening on the SUI social scheme. I think we even tried using one of these, and it was pretty cool. So you should definitely go and check these out. Oh, is that it? It is. Is that the 13? No, it is, yeah. That's it. Okay, so that was like a really quick presentation, so you guys can just get like an overview what exists currently on SUI, and you can go and delve deeper into this if you wish, if you want. And now we will get into the contract itself. So first things first, I don't know if you guys opened this code share. We don't need to log in. So if you installed, let me just clear this. Actually, we can do it through VS Code. Can everybody see this? All right, so first things first, we can say SUI Client, new address, ED25519. Give it a second, and that should create basically like a wallet that you can just copy into like your SUI wallet. So this will give you a seed phrase that you can copy, like this. Oh, wait, where did I put this? Let me just reorganize this so it's easier in the future. You will need a SUI Wallet extension for this, so you can also install that. I will wait for a minute for you guys to install that. But once you have that, you can just basically go and like add the wallet and import passphrase and paste the seed phrase that SUI CLI gave you. Put some password in just to be able to lock it behind, and voila, we got a SUI wallet. As easy as that. Now, I will actually I will copy this wallet address, and I will switch to this because I have some SUI tokens. Let's just send like 2 SUI to this address.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can you go a little bit slower?
Oh, of course. Of course, of course.
Go back to CLI just to check the comments.
Okay. SUI Client new address, ED255. Is this one? Yeah. On the last workshop, we went too slow, so I'm trying to like speed it up a bit because there's a lot on the contract and the TypeScript part that we need to cover.
Another question. So for the installation, how long does it usually take? Because we're downloading it from Git, but it's taking since the beginning of the workshop, so I'm not sure how long it takes.
For me, it didn't take that long. Are you downloading it via Brew or
No,
Git? Oh, that. So you're installing it from binaries, right? Or
yeah, because on Windows I didn't see the other options.
yeah. I haven't tried on Windows, but if you are installing it from binaries, then it should take around 10 to 15 minutes, I believe. I think that's like the slower options.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I have a problem with says
Cannot open wallet config file. Oh, we can't dwell on that. We'll look at it later, okay? We'll look at it later because like the code you will be seeing from the workshop will be on GitHub, so we can later sit down and open a wallet for you and deploy and everything, so we don't waste too much time on that, right?
Just one thing, can I please ask you if you have questions, can we do it with the mic because everything is being recorded, so if you do it with the mic, we'll actually have that audio as well, so that whoever is watching for the recording later on, they'll have the full context of what's being asked, what's being answered. Sorry, so yeah, just wave, I will bring the mic. Sorry, Igor.
No, it's fine. Okay, so this was what we used to create the wallet. And if you wanted to get like a template for the project, once you installed SUI, that like I have right now, you can always go and just say, I don't know, in terminal.
I have additional question after this comment.
Okay.
Do you want it to connect it to SUI full node server?
Just press yes. That's fine. That's like press the default option. It will connect you to the full server, and you can later on change environments. That's not a problem. I will show you how you can list through the CLI, how you can list all of your environments and all of your addresses, and I will show you how you can add new environments or switch to different environments or addresses, okay? So if you wanted to create like a new project, you would say SUI Client, SUI Move, SUI Move New, and just some, I don't know, I'm already in that, so I can just go to and say SUI Move New and some project name, right? And that should create basically a boilerplate, like you see. I have this project here, and it comes with a move TOML file and an empty source folder in which you can actually then add your move smart contracts, which we will be covering here. So this is basically what we have in the beginning is a move TOML and a sources, and then inside the sources you would add a new move file, call it whatever you want, and then you can start coding and doing whatever you want, okay? So let's cover what's happening here. The content of this smart contract, like what I wanted to do, is a simple voting app, like a polling app, where you would give the user some options, I don't know, like WhatsApp polls, like what do you want to eat? Steak, pasta, or whatever. And the user would be able to almost anonymously, when I say almost anonymously, you will see what I mean, because we won't be able to see actually who voted and what. should be able to vote on something, and we will be able to count those votes and later on see the results basically through the Explorer, right? So these are some imports. I won't be going through imports a lot, like we will cover what is what, but basically, you know, these are the basic imports. The syntax for the module is just, you know, module, name of the package, and then the name of basically this, you know, what you want to write, okay? So after the imports, I will just bounce to this immediately because I want to talk about objects on. You can, yeah. It's on CodeShare slash Belgrade. It's right here. Wait 1 second. Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We are good. Switch to this. So, yeah, codeshare.io. Yeah, but it won't increase the. Okay. Gotcha. You can, if you want, you can just download like the whole thing, and we can cover through there. Like it's fine. It should work. If you have the CLI, you should be able to like build and publish everything. Should work fine. So you should be good. This is the code share link that this is on, if anybody can see from on top, right? Okay, while you guys do this, I will just talk a little bit. So the voting app that we want to do, we will basically need a struct for the poll itself. And how I was thinking about this is, you know, what would we need for a poll? Like the first thing we would need is a question, right? There has to be some sort of a question inside this poll. Then we would need some sort of a vector for answers. And we would also need some sort of a table through which we can map like key value pairs for who voted for what, okay? And also we would add the count, and we will add this vote count as also a vector of different, basically just numbers like primitive types. And the reason behind this is we could get it from the table, but the table itself is a dynamic object in SUI, meaning like it's built from dynamic objects. That's what the documentation says. And they're within the ownership of the object that holds them. So our poll, you will see this through Explorer, will be the owner of the table that we create within it. And we won't be able to see, when I go through SUI Explorer with my wallet, through the poll, I won't be able to see what's in the table itself. And that's why I said it's like almost anonymous. There is ways where you can unwrap this basically with dynamic objects where I can get that data because I own the poll myself. But to anybody who is, you know, just coming and wants to check how the poll is standing, they won't be able to see who voted for what. Okay? Like that's intentionally done like that. Okay? So this is what I was talking about. Also an ID, of course, and there is a questions for the question. Options would be a vector of strings. Vote counts would be a vector of numbers. So every index would represent the index of the option. So if, I don't know, we have options meat, pasta, or pizza, the vote counts would be, if I vote for pizza, the vector would be looking like 100, right? It would be like that because I voted for pizza and I'm the only one that voted so far. That should be that, right? And the votes is the table that I talk about. So the key is going to be a string. Why is this popping out like this? Okay. The votes is a, I mean, is it messing with me or? No, it's fine. All right, it's fine. It's fine, it stopped. Okay, so I'm sorry. So the table has a key of string and U16, yeah. Let's do it like that. I'm sorry. Let's just jump in again. Yeah, some of this to pull SUI. Hopefully this time it will work fine. VS Code, right? Sometimes it can be a pain, right? Okay, so these are the structs that we will be needing for the polling app. And I also put a Boolean value for is active if we want to like deactivate a poll for whatever reason, say, you know, voting is done, it's no longer active, we can do that too. All right, and I also added a struct called poll collection, in which we will be adding all of these polls that we will be creating, and that collection will go to me as I am the publisher, so I can see all the polls that we have created. This is how we can basically group the polls for this workshop, right? And here, poll collection has a vector of ID. The reason why this is ID and not UID is because ID also has a copy keyword here, and UID does not. And we will see later on in the code, if I can try and put like an UID here, it won't let me copy it because UID is unique and doesn't have a copy keyword, then I can't copy it. And this is all going by value later on, okay? So this is why this is ID, okay? So it's basically just a struct that will have some sort of an ID and that will have like a variable that will hold a vector that will hold all of our polls, right? Okay, also, I've added a struct for NFTs because I've decided like this is, you know, a Web3 project. So I want to show you guys how we can create some NFTs, although this is not the main point of the app. And this NFT we will be creating and gifting to the user after they vote. So after you vote, after I vote for some poll, I will get an NFT saying I voted, or there'll be like a little picture and everything, and it's pretty cool. What we need for that is a name, a description, and an image URL. That's all we need, and we will be mapping that later on in the init. Now, what we need because of this NFT is a one-time witness. Now, a one-time witness is an empty struct that has just drop, and the reason behind this is you will see here in the init function, we will be passing it in the init function is because in order to add an image to the NFT, like we could create a struct that only has name, description, and image URL, but we also need to add a display for it. Now, this is just the way SUI does this. Now, if you don't add a display, this would also go into my assets for my wallet, but it will not have the display available for the SUI wallet itself. Like, I would not see it on the virtual assets. I would see it in the assets just as like, you know, the address and the type. And when I go into the SUI Explorer with the address, I would see what are the values for the name and the description and the image URL of that NFT. Now, for that, you can see here, we need to define some key values to map for our NFT, so what we have. So the keys are basically the names of the parameters of the struct itself. The values are the same thing, just with the bytes. This is the bytes B. This declares a string, and this is like the value of name, right? This is pretty standard everywhere you go. This is the only thing that's not standard, I would say, but that's just the way it is. And UTF-8, if we go into it, like this is from SUI. So this is string move from SUI. This is their module for a string. You can see it says here, create a new string from sequence of bytes, aborts, etc. So what we're doing here is basically giving it a sequence of bytes and creating a string from that, okay? Now, for the publisher and the display, we can claim the package and initialize the display settings for the NFT. This is just the way it's done. This is, you can see this also on their documentation. We have to claim the publisher with the one-time witness. We have to pass the one-time witness here, and the context. Now, the context is something you can always get in SUI for whatever method you're using. We will be passing it to other methods, and it's basically like the context of chain. That's how you will be getting our sender addresses. That's how we will be getting, in this example, the package claim and everything. And another thing worth noting, why is it a one-time witness? Because this init, this will only execute once. Once we publish it, this will only go through once. And even if we upgrade our package, like even if you go, so let's say you wrote the smart contract, you published it, and you're like, oh, I forgot to add this part. I forgot to add the display and the publisher. I will have to add this again. This won't work. You will have to publish basically a new contract. You won't be able to upgrade the contract, the existing contract, because this is only once. And that also it goes the same for whatever. If you create a new contract and if you publish it, it will always be there. If you upgrade it, you will get a new address for the contract, but the one that we published will always be there as a version 0.01. You can also note that here in the move. I think I did that. Yeah, I did. I said version 0.0.1 in case we need to do some upgrades. You can note it here. Okay. So now the display. Also, we have to create a new display for which we needed the publisher. That's the reason why we did it. And we pass the key, the values, and the context. This is just the way it is with the display. This is all in the documentation. This is the way it has to be done. And we pass the publisher by reference and the rest as it is. And after we did the display, after we created the new display, we will update with the update version on the display module, which is a function. We will pass that display as a mutable reference, and that will update the display for our NFT. And the last thing we have to do is once we created that publisher and the display, we will have to send it to ourselves. So in this case, TX context sender, and we pass the context, this will give us my address, or your address in your case, right? You will be the sender. Okay, and the last thing I did in the init was I created that poll collection because I only wanted one. I didn't want a lot of them, and I immediately send it to myself. So this is just like a one-liner in which you have a poll collection being created. I give it a new ID, so object new context. This will create a new UID for it, and an empty vector for the poll collection. And immediately, within the transfer I created this, I send it to myself. Okay. So what we achieved with this is now when we create those NFTs, they will have a little nice display with the image that I put above in like in a constant. I will show you this now. I didn't want to show it to you because I wanted to go through the init first. But this is basically what we will be using. So these constants is what we will be using down the line to create our NFT. Of course, this can be passed on into a function as an argument. You can do a lot of things with this, but for the sake of the workshop, I put it to be a constant. And also, one thing I wanted to note, again, is these votes. The reason I put this to be a string for the key is I wanted to do it based off names, like we would say, I don't know, Ivor voted. But usually, the way you would want to do this, if this was like a real smart contract and you wanted to do this for real, you would put like the wallet address here. So you could do address as a type here and pass the wallet address for the user that has voted. But of course, I want to show you how it looks like when like multiple users vote, and I don't want to open multiple wallets for that and then connect multiple wallets and then vote with multiple wallets. So it's easier if we just do it with string, and I will type in, I don't know, I will pass Ivor, or the second time Marco, or third time Ivan, or whatever. So that way I don't have to open multiple wallets. But let's say if this was a real product, I would definitely put addresses here, right? Also, now we can talk a little bit about this. So these will be used later. These are basically like our custom errors that we're going to use for a failure later on. It's also just constants with numerical value, and we'll be later on passing them as like error code 1, error code 2 in this case. And they will be for if the user already voted or if the poll has been closed. So that's pretty much everything up here. We can go down to the first method. So for the sake of the workshop, I put this to be a public entry fun. Now, you usually don't want both public and entry. There's differences, and you can see them here. I can just show you here if you want. But what this will enable us, let me just, I don't know why I'm looking over there. Like I have this here, right? You have this whole page on public versus entry. Now, entry is useful if you want strong guarantees that your function is not being combined with third-party module functions with programmable transaction blocks, but it also allows us to execute functions through the Explorer. So I just wanted to show you how it would look like on the Explorer, because if I didn't put it, you wouldn't see it on the Explorer itself, right? But usually, like it says here, it's rarely useful to use both. Like I would use only public if it was not for the workshop, right? And what we're doing here is this is going to be the function that creates our poll. We're going to pass a question as a string. We're going to pass those options as a vector of strings. And we're going to pass a mutable reference to the poll collection. And the context is always going to be available. We don't have to actually pass it later on, right? Now, the reason why I'm doing this poll collection is because without that, our contract is self-sustained basically on the chain, and it doesn't know which poll collection I'm talking about, right? Once we publish this, you can go on my address and you can actually execute the methods that are on this contract, right? Now, how would it know which poll collection we're talking about? That's the way we're going to do this. This is where we're going to be passing the address of a collection you want to create a poll for, right? So first things first, we're going to be initializing the vote counters for each option. So we're creating a vector of length of options. So we're going to be basically like, if we have 4 options, for the count, we will need that many vote count. Like the vector has to be the same length, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? Yeah.
And what happens if options is 0?
If options are 0,
Yes.
it will fail. It will not create a poll, right?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So basically, right here, we're creating an options length. We're taking the length of the options and we're passing this to be the value here. And after that, I'm creating an empty vector called vote counts. And then I'm iterating through the options length. And for each option, basically, I'm adding with this vector pushback method, I'm adding a 0. So that would be the initial votes would be 0, right? Onto the vector of vote counts. So I'm passing vote counts here, which is an empty vector, and the value 0. And then I'm iterating, and I'm doing it again for each option that we have. Does that make sense? Okay. After that, we will be creating a new poll. We will give it a new ID. We will pass the question string. We will pass the options vector. That is all fine. We already have that prepared. And for the votes, we will be creating a new table. So you can see here, this is what I've been talking about before. So for the table, we also need a context, and that is because the table is an object itself. And that is an object that will be within the ownership of the poll that we have. So that is, you can really go deep into this, like an object could be an owner of another object, then that object can have another object, and there's a lot of unwrapping that you can be doing here. But for this, I just want you to know that the reason why we're doing this like that is because the table is an object itself on the chain, okay? And then I'm passing for the vote counts, I'm passing a vector of numbers that we created above here, if that makes sense. And also, for the is active, I will just say immediately for a new poll, it's immediately true. And then, on the poll collection, so above here, the poll collection, I will be adding the poll itself. And this is how we will be getting, like I said, I can't do, like this would fail if I did just poll.id, this will fail if I do SUI move build. Did I not? I put another, for whatever reason, my bad. I just want you to see the error that it gives. Yeah, to satisfy the constraint, the copyability would be needed to add here. And it says for the UID. So that's why we can't do it like that, but rather, I will have to use the ID method of the object module and pass the poll, any object. You can pass any object to get their ID as an ID, not as a UID type, but as an ID type here, okay? And we will be pushing that, we we'll be pushing that onto our poll collection. So again, I'm calling a pushback method on the vector package, and I'm passing what I need to pass. So a mutable reference to a vector and then a value, right? And in the end, I will be transferring the poll that we just created to myself, to the sender, right? It's the same as before. Like this transfer is always going to be the same. And this, I put a return of Boolean here, and we will be, I can show you that later on the TypeScript part. And this is for the dev inspect, because overall, the return types on SUI are supposed to be passed on to other transaction blocks. So if you just thought this is going to return true, like you went on TypeScript, you, I don't know, made a move call, and you said move call, like let result equals move call, whatever, signed and executed, it will give you a type of nested result. And inside that nested result, you will not be able to see the true as a value. You would have to use like either dev inspect or dry run. And that's just for development. The real reason behind this is because it's supposed to be used for other transaction, like programmable transaction blocks. If you wanted to pass this through to another method that we have in the smart contract, you would be able to do that. Like you would know that that value should be good, but you cannot see it on the TypeScript side just as it is. It will always be a nested result, okay? You will see that later on. We also have a script that I will show for the TypeScript part. So like I said, this is just for the dev inspection show. This is not really that necessary. So that's our create poll function. We can just summarize it again. So basically, all of this is I'm initializing this vote counts vector to have the same size as the options, and I'm giving like a value of 0 because that's the count of the votes that we want to have as a number for each option, right? Nobody starts ahead. We're not giving anything for free, right? No free votes, right? Everybody's got to be equal. And after that, we're creating a new poll with pretty much all of the things that we passed onto our function. The only thing is that vector that is being created above that needs to be passed, like, it needs to be created before, right? And the table itself, we have to create through the context because it's an object in itself, right? Finally, pushing back to the collection and transferring the poll to the sender, who is us in this case, okay? Now, in order to register the vote here on the poll that we just created, we would need to send a mutable reference to the poll. And this is, again, because if you want to register a vote to a certain poll, it's not like we know what the poll is, right? This will be live on a blockchain, and we will have to pass a reference to a certain object in order to interact with it, right? If we want our contract to interact with certain objects, we will always need to pass those references to those objects. So if we do want to register a vote, like this can be split. Maybe that's the best way to understand it. I can make 5 contracts, and each of them could have only one of these methods, and it will still all work together. If I pass the correct references, it will still all work together, right? So this is basically just, I put it all in one thing because it is just like a one project, like a workshop, etc. But overall, you can think of it as if you need to create, like if you want to separate your concerns, you can always do that this way. You can just say, okay, I can have one contract that does this and another contract that does the creation of polls, and then another contract that deletes the polls, or you can just have one contract that does all, right? It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's just like personal preference, right? So for registering the vote, like said, we will need to pass the poll, the mutable reference to the poll. We will need to pass the option that we want to vote for. Yeah.
When you say contract, do you mean model, or what do you mean by contract? Do you mean whole package?
Yeah, the whole package. Yeah, after it's deployed, that's what I'm talking about. Like this is a smart contract, right? After we deploy it, it becomes a package on the chain, right? That's what I'm talking. Like when you pass it to the package on chain.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 10 minutes back. You said before that once you build and upload the contract, there is no updating it. So when you wanna change something in your initial contract, you have to update a new one.
No, no, it's you. The contract, the first contract, will always exist on chain because that's how blockchains work. Like for security reasons, right? But you can upgrade the new one, and it will give you a new address that you can use for your new contract. It's basically like versioning. The version 0.01 will always be there, and everyone will always be able to access it. But
Okay, but you basically get a new address that you then put in your application or whatever and change it when you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Additional question on him. Essentially, if you have a coin defined in your smart contract, right, and you do an update of your contract, what happens with the coins that already minted? For instance, they get a different address, right?
Yeah,
they cannot be used in a new updated package.
That's a good question. That's something that you would have to think of as a developer. Like if you did that in the init, if you defined your coin and you created it in the init, you would have to think of those coins because they would stay the same, like you said. Like those previous ones would have the same values and the same attributes. For example, if you wanted to add something new to any object, the old ones will always have, like the backwards compatibility is something you really have to think about here when it comes to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it did, but I'm not sure what should I do as a developer, you know, how to migrate.
Use DevNet until your product is ready. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, because that's just the way it is. Like you can't go back. You can either void all of the coins that you created before and create new ones. Maybe that's an option for you if you needed to actually do something like that, your specific scenario, right? But you would have to do something. You would have to, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just the way it works with blockchains and specifically, I mean, it's not only SUI, but you cannot go back when it comes to that. It will not update what's already on chain. That's irreversible, like immutable, right? That's immutable. So you cannot update that when it comes to that. Like all of those objects that were created in the first version, they're going to stay the same. No additional attributes, no additional values, they're going to be that way. If you need to use them later on, you would either have to maybe do something with like new objects or something, or you would have to create new values and then send that to, yeah, Andre. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, then additional question, is it possible maybe to define like a couple of contracts, right? And in one contract to define all coins, right? And work with those coins in different contracts.
Yeah, that's possible.
Is it possible?
Yeah, of course, that's possible. Like I said, we could do that with this. Like I could define a poll in one contract and a poll collection in another contract, and that should still work. Like, it should be fine.
So I guess somehow in a config file or in a move config.
No, you would have to import. You would have to import that package, so you know what your other contract would have to know. The other package would have to know how the other struct looks like, right? You can do it right here in the TOML. In the dependencies, you would put the package that you need that's already on chain, and then you would use the thing. But it's possible. Like you can split it up like that. That's fine.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
So basically, it's better to like separate packages or contracts.
Yeah.
So make something that you know you're not going to update in the future, and then publish that, and then create a separate contract, separate package for, I don't know, like creating a poll, voting. Is it better to do it like that, or just put that everything in one contract?
I would say it's better to actually separate that, but again, for the workshop, it makes no sense.
Yeah, okay, I understand. I'm asking you like in general.
It would be a good practice to separate those things for sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's get into the register vote again. So again, we're passing a mutable reference to the poll, so we know.
Can we just maybe once you finish the register vote, when you explain that completely, can we do a break, 15-minute break, so people can eat pizza and when hungry?
Okay, yeah, sure. After we finish register vote, we're gonna do a break.
Thank you.
So again, mutable reference to the poll for the 5th time. An option, which is going to be just like a numerical value of which option we are voting for, basically an index, nothing else. Name, this would be an address. That's what we were talking about. Like usually you would put this to be an address, and the context that we will be needing, as you will see. Now, this is a check that's going to use our custom error, and it just checks. So I'm calling on the table package the contains method, and I'm passing the votes, which is a table, and the value of name. Now, this is interesting because we don't really need this. Like, you don't need this at all. Like, you can't have duplicate keys, right? This won't pass anyways. But I just wanted to put it here, you know, for fun, just to show you how you would maybe display some custom error or something like that. But it's not gonna work anyways. Like, even if I completely voided this, I will not be able to have duplicate values for the key, right? Okay, then second check, obviously, is if the poll is active. And then after that, we would be adding, so I'm on the table package, we invoke the add method, I pass the mutable reference to the table. So again, it's always passing mutable reference to the objects, right? I'm passing the mutable reference to the table. I'm passing the key, which would be a string of name in our case, or how it should be an address, and the value, which is an option, right? It's just a number. Remember, our table upstairs is string to U64, right? And after that, I see the current count. I get the current count. So borrow mutable is I basically pull this value. So I pass the mutable reference to a vector, which we have, and it actually gets me that value, right? And then I can work with that value and have it updated on the object itself, right? So this is, again, on the vector. We're invoking the borrow mutable method. I can go in and show you this. So returns a mutable reference to the ith element in the vector v, aborts if v is out of bounds, okay? So, and I'm storing that in the current count, which is just, you know, whatever. We could do this in a one line, but I wanted to do it like this. And then I'm taking the value of the current count, which I just borrowed from the vote counts of our poll, and I'm updating its value by 1, and that's it, okay? And now we're gonna create the NFT that we're gonna send to the user. So we create a new NFT, we give it an ID through the context. So again, object new context will give us a UID. The name is from the constant that I showed you upstairs, and the description and the URL are all from the constant that I showed you upstairs. If you wanted to change this, like if you wanted to give one NFT to one user, another NFT to another user, another NFT to the third user, you could pass this also in like the method signature as a parameter, do whatever you want with that, it should be fine, right? And then after creating that NFT, we just transfer it to the sender, okay? Because again, in case you wanted to go to my contract and vote for the poll, you will be the one that's sending the transaction. You will be the one signing it, okay? So it will go to you, all right? And that's it for the register vote. So we can take a short break now.
So let's just take like a 15-minute break, get some pizza and stuff. After the break, Ivar is going to finish up the contract and show you how to deploy this contract. And I will also share a link with a bunch of other links, link with links, where you're going to get like 10 SUI each. You'll open up a link, you will get like 10 SUI tokens, which is around, what? One SUI now is around 1.6. $15, $16, yeah. $15, $16, huh? Yeah, so everyone's going to get 10 SUI tokens. You'll see how to publish this thing. And after we do the publishing of this package, we'll also have a demo of Wallet for Unity, which will be interesting. Okay, yeah, break, 15 minutes. Thank you.
So we did the register vote function. Okay, that worked. We were good with register vote. And now we will go to the two simplest functions that are left on this contract, which is change poll status and get poll votes. Now, change poll status, as you can see, all we need to pass is a mutable reference to the poll, like we did for all of the functions before, and a new status, which is just a Boolean value, nothing else. And all we do is we just take the value of the is active from the poll, and we just set it to be equal to the status, and that should work. All right? And get poll votes does nothing but return the poll vote counts. That's it. Now, like I said here in the comments, so that's for GitHub, you will always have this here. It's also just for dev inspect and dry run. because we cannot see these actual values if we just call it from TypeScript. We have to use either inspect or dry run to see those values because that's meant to be passed on to other programmable transaction blocks. But that's something you can play in your free time. You can go and see on SUI documentations how programmable transaction block works and what is it actually. Overall, they're just different ways to make those move calls for the contract itself on chain, and they are like mostly used, like you will see them. Actually, we can just open that right now, but let me just see. I haven't opened that. Where is that? I think it's here. This is the whole GitHub repository, and they are right here. Okay, so finally some TypeScript, right? Yeah, I will increase this, of course. Finally some TypeScript, but this is actually JavaScript, but I did it so I don't have to compile and everything. But you would usually want this in TypeScript, right? This is just a small example of how you would use this on the client side, for example. And what you will need, of course, you will need to add SUI as a package. And after you do that, you would create some, like you would get a full node URL from this method, get full node URL. You would say either devnet, mainnet, testnet. This is just going to return basically the string of, I don't know how it is exactly, but let me just quickly. If you go SUI active envs, nice, SUI client active envs, client active, also just envs, I think it's just envs. Yeah, somewhere, yeah. So you will see here the environment, so this is basically what it returns, right? So it will return this URL, nothing else. Now I have all the envs installed here. If you want to add these environments, you can say SUI client add, or actually wait, just let me check real quick. Yeah, new env. It's new env. SUI client new env, and we can see what we need to pass here. So we need to pass the options, which is like these are the options. So alias, so that's the name of the environment. You can call it, I don't know, you can call your environment. It doesn't have to have the name mainnet. You can do whatever you want. But the main thing that's important is that the RPC node link is good. So if you wanted to, and you should do this now, you could add you could say SUI client new env, and you would say alias mainnet, and you would say RPC, and then you would put this link. I will go back to what I was writing, just to copy paste this link. You would use this. Yeah, yeah, I got it, but it's the alias. It doesn't matter, right? But I will copy paste this. I will copy paste this into the code share so everybody can easily just execute this and add this environment, right? Where is the code share? It's right there. Okay, so this is the full. Yeah, yeah, I did the whole thing. Okay, so if you execute this, you should have a new environment called mainnet within your SUI environments, all right? And then I will also add this here. When you do SUI client envs, as a next execution, you will see, like I have here, you will see the whole list of all the environments that you have. I won't be executing this because I already have this. So we will just skip this and just do SUI client envs. And now what you will probably notice is you will see the list of your environments, but your DevNet is still going to be selected. You're still going to have this like, what is it, like, I don't know, star, yeah. You will have the star over the DevNet. That's going to be your active environment. So now what you have to do is say SUI Client switch, I think. I believe it's switch, yeah. SUI Client switch / env, or yeah, just env, and then your alias saying mainnet, okay? Now I will try to switch to DevNet, given that I'm currently on mainnet, and then I will switch back just to show you guys. Yeah, okay, I managed to switch. Now if I do SUI Client envs, you will see we're now switched to DevNet, and I can switch back with the same thing back to mainnet. Open. And now I'm back on mainnet. Just to confirm, yeah. So just to confirm, you guys should be pointing to mainnet because we will be deploying this to mainnet. Now, when it comes to deploying to mainnet, we can actually do that now. Andre, do we have the links? I don't know if Andre went somewhere. Where is Andre? He's somewhere. The links. Is it on the code share? So is everybody, did you install the extension for the, okay? Now on that code share, the same code share, Andre is going to post claim links, and you can just claim one and then write your name or like a mark or something. Code share, /Beograd. Just put some note or your name or something that you claimed it so other people won't claim it because it's like one-time thing, right? For each link is a one-time claim, right? And each one of you should claim one link. You will get those 10 SUI tokens, and then you will be able to publish this contract even if you just... Or the links are online. Okay. Let me just open those real quick. There we go. So these links, the ZK send ones. After you click that, after you claim that, you should have in your wallet here some 10 SUI, okay? Some 10 SUI. What was that? Just go to the link, to the browser. It's simple browser link. Yeah, just open the link. I won't claim one, but I can show it here. So you can go open one of those, and it should be something like this. Something like this. Funds ready to be claimed. And when you press claim, you should be getting those tokens in like a matter of, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that. Yeah, if you guys need me to cover the adding the wallet onto the SUI wallet, we can do that again. I don't know if anybody's having trouble with that. I'll just check out. No. Just use, so did you use the, did you create a wallet address through the CLI? Yeah. Okay, you can use the passphrase, so those seed phrase, those 12 words, and you can say import passphrase. I can go back, wait, just give me a second. You did that? Did you connect that here? Do you have it here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you have a wallet here like I have on screen? Okay. Does it say 0 SUI?
Yeah.
Okay. And you should, when you claim the link, that should be connected to your wallet. You should get those 10 tokens on that wallet. You don't have to do nothing with Google or anything. That wallet should be connected.
I don't see the claim.
On the link? Wait, I could just, real quick. Let me see. Ovo je Connect with Wallet, to, treće ovo stisni dolje. To, SUI Wallet. I tu sad Connect. To je to. To bi sad trebalo biti to. Okay? Did everybody? Okay. Yeah. You can. Yeah, I think there should be. You can go check the App Store. There should be something. Good. Okay. Now that you got your tokens, let's deploy this. That code share links will still stay there, right? Meantime, I will just check to show you how to invoke these calls through CLI. Call. Nice. Did I? No. Just one. Everybody should claim just one and write your name next to it, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Now, I will just clear this. And once you've claimed this, and you're here on the contract itself, you can say SUI Client publish. I will also copy this on the code share so you guys can just copy paste. So generally you would just say SUI Client publish. You would say gas budget, put 9 zeros. Don't worry, it's not a million SUI. It's just that they have to split it into mists, so you can actually have a budget lower, much lower than 1 SUI itself, okay? And we will do skip dependency verification, just so we don't have to worry about the packages, because we're not using any external packages, so we will just do this. Because sometimes, given this client API version, it can mess up with the packages. Can I find gas coin for a signer? Let me just check. How many zeros did I put? 3, 6. I put 1 0 too many. I put 1 0 too many. 9 zeros. That's 1 SUI. It represents 1 SUI. And after that, once the thing has executed, you will get a lot of information, really a lot of information. And all of this basically tells you the transaction you just made. It tells you like all of the objects that are created, all of the objects that are mutated. You get the TX hash. You can go check the transaction itself on the SUI Explorer. But most of this you don't need. I will just firstly copy paste this into the code share. I will put it on the bottom. Check it. I have to refresh, obviously. I will put it at the bottom.
Sorry, can you scroll a bit on the left to have the link to the Can you scroll a bit on the left so we can print the screen and claim the SUI wallet?
But this will stay up. You can do this even later if you want.
Okay.
We will not delete this. It's fine. We will leave it up for 24 hours. It will stay on the. So all you need to do is just you can screenshot this. This is the one.
That's the point.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the one you need to get onto this code share. So it's just codeshare.io/Belgrade. And those links will be there. But please, once you claim them, just write your name next to it so people don't try and claim it, but it's already claimed, okay? And This last thing I put, that's the command that publishes the contract itself on the chain. And we will check just quickly what you get after publishing. And then we will go to the Explorer to show you how it looks on the Explorer. I will show you like my wallet, what did I get from it, because I will immediately get that poll creation, that poll collection object that we created. It will be sent to me. I will get to the publisher. I will get the display. That's just going to be from the initialization of the contract itself. And then later on, once we create the poll, I will get the poll. Once I vote, I will get the NFT. We will see the NFT and everything. And then we will go to the TypeScript thing. I think this is better this way. So you first see how we can call it through the CLI, and then we can show the TypeScript thing because it's, anyways, it's on GitHub, so you can check it out there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. And then I think it's like that. Yeah, it's like that. And if you want to switch the address, it's the same command, but just address. So this would be if you want to switch the address. Oh, no. Switch. Okay. So if you have multiple wallets you connected through the CLI, you can always switch through them directly in the CLI. You can do pretty much anything with SUI directly through the CLI. Like we will call this contract methods directly through the CLI first. That's all possible. But sometimes it's easier to just do it like through SUI Wallet, or because in SUI Wallet, if you want to change the wallet here, you can just go switch to and then just press a button, right? But through CLI, if you invoke methods, you always have to keep in mind that it's different. Like if I switch wallets here in the SUI Wallet extension, it's not going to switch my wallet in the CLI. Like if I execute commands through the CLI, it's always going to go through the address that is connected currently, that is active currently on the CLI. Okay? Here? Yeah, we can also do this, so it's easier. Like that. Fine? Good? Good. All right, now I will show you again what we got. So this is the transaction data, like it says. You can see my wallet is the sender. I'm also the gas owner. It says the gas budget that I set. It says the gas price, which is how much it used. So it used 750 mist, which is out of that huge number, that's like the portion of one SUI, if that makes sense. Like if this represents one SUI, we used this portion of a single SUI for this publishing transaction, okay? What address is active for you? I mean, I can just go real quick. What address is active for you? No, that's environments. Type in SUI client addresses. Addresses, multiple. Okay, so is this the address you have on your wallet? Is that the one? Just check. Yeah, it's you open the wallet through the SUI wallet, and the address is different from this. So like I said, the CLI address you're using is not this address. So you have to add your CLI address here, and then you can transfer those tokens to but you need the seed phrase. Where did you create the command SUI client new address? It gave you like those 12 words, right? I think this is the one, these 12 words, right? So import that seed phrase into the wallet, just copy it. Copy it, and then you go into your wallet. You can go into your wallet, add, import passphrase, paste from the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Okay, add account, type in some password, That's like just gonna lock it. Ja, nisi stavio, mislim, password nisi upisao ništa. Ne, nije ti unijelo ništa. Tu, ovdje. Nije ti ništa unijelo, sad ću ti unijeti to. Aha, okej. Stavi neki drugi, da. I onda samo uzmeš tu adresu tog walleta i transferaš si te fundove, jer taj ti je spojen na CLI. Znači, preko njega ćeš invokat na CLI-u funkcije, no? Sad to. Aha, čekaj, šta? A tebe pokušava verificirati na onaj stari. Koja ti je ona stara šifra koju si bio unio? Prvi put. To ti je za wallet, baš ekstenziju, no? Znaš šta? Ajde budemo to kasnije, može. Je, da, ali preko ovoga, nisi preko CLI-a spaj, ono, kako smo mi, čekaj. Da, cancel. To si odradio od onoga što si dobio u CLI-u. Jel ti to tu? Koja je adresa gore? Odi nazad na cancel, samo da vidimo prvu adresu. Zatvori ovo, zatvori to. Zatvori to isto. Ne, ovo je X samo dolje stisni, tu. 444, odi switch. Jel to? Je. Upiši SUI Client, SUI Client switch i //address 2D, eto, i ovu adresu gornju, samo copy-paste. I onda ovo kini isto, to će ti raditi. Nisam vidio da je tebi to isto ova gore, dobro si onda sve bio. I sad opet publish, probaj. Ok, sorry guys. We just have to sort this out. And now, back to this. The only thing that is important for you guys here now is in these created objects, you will see that one says here has owner immutable. This is the contract that we published. Okay, all of these other objects, as you can see here, after publishing the contract, I will have in my, wait, what address did I use? Maybe I used the wrong address too. Oh, you see this? This is how many wallets. Wait, just 1 second. Let me find that. Or actually, I can just do this. I can copy this, because it's the same wallet address. I will switch to that. So SUI client switch address, and then I will paste that. Okay, I'll just clear this real quick, and then I will do the publish again, just to publish it with the address that I created with you guys, okay? Let it all work. And also you can execute SUI move build if you need to see if your contract is going to build. I mean, this is also going to build it before publishing, obviously, but like if you had to see if everything should work as intended, you can always just first build, right? Okay, it went fine. Let us find the immutable object, which is the contract. There it is. But before that, you can see again now, okay, I spent some SUI to publish, and in the assets, I have under everything else, I don't know if I can zoom this extension itself, obviously not, unfortunately, but you can see this on your screen too. If you publish the contract, you should have a poll collection, so this object is a poll collection. If I click on this link, it will take me to SUI Explorer. Okay, I clicked, I will show again. I clicked, I went on the assets, on everything else, And these are the assets that we created. I clicked on the poll collection, and I can see here that this is my poll collection. It's currently empty, and it has some ID, but it is live. It exists on the blockchain. Like it is on mainnet, it's there, right? Once we create a poll, we will be able to see it here under the collection. Besides that, you will see in your assets also the upgrade cap. This upgrade cap is what you will always get when you publish any package, any SUI package, and this is what you will need if you want to upgrade your package. This is basically how you will filter in your applications later on. If you need somebody to have like admin privileges, you want to lock somebody from using some method or something, you want only the people who have some object to use it, you can do this with capabilities. Like you can create an object that only contains like a UID in it. So it's an empty object, nothing but an ID, and you can transfer it to yourself in the init function, so it happens only once, and that way you have the admin capability. And if you send that capability by a mutable reference, just like we did with the poll and the poll collection, you can then ask, okay, did this went through, did this come? If it didn't come, this guy is not an admin. I'm not allowing this function to go through. So that's how you can also, this is like a default version of that. So this upgrade capability, if we wanted to upgrade our contract, if we wanted to change something on it, like we said, create a version 0.02, we would need to pass this into the CLI. It would ask for this. If you go SUI Client upgrade, it will ask you, I don't see a upgrade capability. I mean, we can show you that right now. Like there's nothing to upgrade, but if I just try and execute it without the capability, it should just say, oh. Yeah, you see, it's like you need to pass the upgrade capability here. It will tell you immediately. And the gas budget, just like you did with the publish. So this is the upgrade capability. It would be just this address. You would just copy paste this, and then you can upgrade your package via that. Also, we have the display that we created for the NFT, and we have the publisher that we also needed for the display for the NFT, okay? Now, once we have that, I copied the contract address, so the immutable one. Again, just to show it again. So this is the one. I copied that, and I can put it here in the Explorer, and voila. Our contract is live. We have change poll status here. We have create poll. We have get poll votes and register vote. Now, I could execute this through here, but they have a small bug currently where you cannot pass like vectors. I cannot pass a vector of strings through the Explorer. It's going to say you're passing a wrong type, like you're passing a string. I actually did talk with some guys from Miston last week about this, and they said they're working on fixing this. So maybe it's fixed. We can try, actually. Why not? So argument 0 would be, maybe they fixed it. Who knows? Let's see. So argument 0 would be question, options, we can say, so vector is basically, I can just pass it as like, you know, brackets, like an array. And I can say, jedan, dva. And the third is the poll collection object, which I can get from my assets, right? This is the poll collection object that we're talking about. The one we were looking. Come on. This is something new. Oh, can I do it through here? Oh, this is something new. I haven't seen this. Nice, cool. Yeah, they did switch. Nice. Can I do it through here maybe? I haven't tried this out. Maybe we can try it out together. If I can call it, no, we can just, for starters, let's see if it works through the Explorer itself. Okay, I would go connect wallet, SUI Wallet. Is this the right address? Yeah, I think it is. Where did it go? Where did it go? All right, I messed up by, I was indecisive for a second, and now it knows. Now it knows I was indecisive. No, just joking. Okay, now I connected the wallet. I can try execute. Yeah, it's still there. So expect 1, 2 to be an array received string. That's the bug that they currently have with the Explorer. But I wanted to show you that that's the whole public entry function thing that I added. It wouldn't be here without the entry. But usually I would just use public, okay? But this is mostly like if you're going to use this via other contracts, if you're going to call some methods, or if you call it through TypeScript, this is just for show. This is for you as a developer to see what's there, what's published, what exists, how the arguments look, that you can verify, okay, everything's fine, everything works, right? So let's just do this through here. I can't remember now. SUI Client. It's on client, right? SUI Client call. Yeah. SUI Client. I will copy paste this, by the way. What was the order? It was package. There we go. I'm just gonna copy paste this and work off this because it's the easiest to see again. Who can remember all of these commands? You know, you just have to use help sometime, right? But that's why it exists, so that's fine. Let's work from the bottom up. So gas budget again. I'll put one SUI 36,9, ili je 9? 369. Yeah, that's fine. Function, create poll. That's what we called our function over there. Module is the name that you put for the module, so I did voting. And package is the package, right? The contract, the options we don't need. Okay. I forgot the args, of course, yeah. Of course. Wait, 1 second. The args go, yeah, it's just, I can put it anywhere, right? Yeah. Args, so tko, that would be the first one. You can just list them, but like again, I will copy. I can do it in English too. Who, let's see, I think this is with single. 1, 2, with single quotas, 1, 2, and then the poll collection, again, where is it? It's right here. Yeah, that's the one. 1, 2. Object, did I copy the wrong object? Wait, 1 second. Let me just go again, check the object so everything is. So poll collection, I obviously didn't. Come on, just do the, they changed everything here. Is this like, they did it mid workshop, I guess. The Explorer one worked too. Let me just check. No, it should work too. Yeah, that's the poll collection object. That should be fine. What did I put? What did I put? No, it should work. It should work. There we go. So it was a good object. And now, after we executed that, I can refresh here on the SUI Explorer. I can't. It was just going to take me to SUI Vision for reasons. And I'm seeing this SUI Vision also for the first time. So I have no idea where should I be looking. Just give me a second. Poll collection. There we go. We have a record here in the poll collection. So we created a new poll. Now, let's go check out that. Okay, is this copy button? Yeah, I did. Let's just do it here. Okay, it exists. Great. And now I can see the fields. I can see that the ID is this. Is active is true. Options is Why is 0, 1? Aha, it shows indexes now. You didn't show indexes before. But this is indexes, it's not the count, right? Question, who? Vote counts 0, 0, so nobody voted on anything yet. And votes, now, this is where we get to the interesting part. Like I said before, because this table is an object owned by my poll, but not by me, I would have to unwrap it to actually gain the data from it. And that's why we said this is an anonymous polling collection. Because you cannot go, any one of you could not go and check my address, see my poll collection, see my poll. You could see the votes, but you could not see inside of the table, okay? I could do that with some unwrapping in other functions, etc., or like you can remove the table from the poll and then transfer it to yourself, and then you would have it in your wallet as another object, and then you would be able to see what's inside of it. But this way, I can only see the ID of it. Now, if I copy this ID, I won't be able to. It should not be showing me anything here. Yeah, no data. It's not showing me anything here because that's just the way they made it. Now, an interesting thing also is there's two different variants of tables. There is a table and there is an object table. And that comes with like those dynamic field types, which is table and bag. But you can explore this more on your own time, because for this workshop purposes, it's just maybe too bit complicated. But the object table, if you're gonna store key value pairs with key being whatever it is, and the value being an object, will show here. But they made it like that for whatever reason they decided to make it. Like I specifically use the table here in comparison to an object table just because of this. So you cannot see this. So it's like an anonymous polling tool, right? Now let's record a vote. Let's record a vote. This vote, let me just see. Okay, we created a poll. Register vote. So I'm just going, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't copy paste this. I will copy paste this immediately. On the, here, okay? Now you can also see this, but obviously you have to change the packages, right? Otherwise you will just be adding another poll to my poll collection, and we don't need that, right? I have enough polls. You saw my wallets. You can only imagine how many polls I have. So this is the package. Just say, I will say package. So module, function, function, gas budget. You can leave, I can leave that. And arguments I can leave. If you want to change them, you can change them, but this is like the... Okay, okay, može. Okay, so let's just record the vote real quick, and then I will just go through the TypeScript real quick and show you immediately what happens, and that's it. Anyways. Šta da? Aha, okay. So, what do I need for registering a vote? I need a poll address as the first argument. It matters which order you put them, of course. So I will go grab that poll I just created. Where is it? I have so many tabs open, only God knows. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Yeah, it's not this one. Is this is my contract itself. Yeah, it was this one, okay? So I will just copy this object address, which is my poll. I will pass that as the first argument. The second argument is going to be the option index, which I'm gonna vote for 2, which is 1, of course, because indexes go 0, 1. Then name, I'm gonna put Ivor, and that's it. That should be it. Yeah, I have to add, for this, I have to add this, right? Čekaj samo malo. Did I do this in the right order? Yeah. Poll, option, name. Object text string must start. That's not about this string. It's about... Yeah. But it does start with OX or 0x. I don't know why it says it does not. This is my poll, right? Yeah, it is. I'm also trying to navigate this for the first time. I apologize. Okay? I'll just copy it again, I guess. I'll just copy it again. Something probably with the copy paste here didn't work. No, not like that. No, I copied the whole JSON. We didn't want that. I just wanted the ID itself. You know why? Because I'm calling create poll. I didn't change I didn't change the method, right? It's gonna work now, my bad. Because it's all fine. It's telling me actually what I need to hear because it's expecting an object, but it's getting something else, you know? So register vote, and that should be good. Ta-da. Now let's see if it worked. Now let's see if it worked. Vote counts. It worked. See? We registered the vote. Now, if I try to do the same thing, it won't allow me because it's a table. It can only have unique keys. But if I change the name, yeah, it actually went with the error itself, like the error for the table before my custom error. But that's fine. It's fine. You know, if I change Ivor to Marko, that should work. That worked. Now let's just check if it did register the vote. It did. We have 2 votes. That's fine. And let's just real quick change poll status. I'm going to change it to false. Change poll status, and I have to put the poll ID again to pass it by mutable reference. That should go through. Fine. Let's check if it worked. Is active, false. It did work, and that's it. Given that the get poll votes is just for dev inspection through TypeScript, if we call this, it's just gonna return the nested result, and we will see that it passed, like we can call it, but we will not see the specific results themselves. We would have to get them either for the next programmable transaction block or use the dev inspector dry-run. Now, when it comes to that, you can see that on the GitHub repository. I will just quickly show you. It's in the scripts, in the script.js. I think I left good comments. I hope I left good comments. You should be able to navigate this yourselves. So all you have to do basically is just go into the scripts. So cd scripts, scripts, and you can just say node and call any function you want out of these. I set it up so you can just say node create poll, but of course you would have to change your mnemonics first to match you can also do outside of mnemonics. There's other ways, but I did mnemonics here. You can add those seed phrases here. You have to change the contract ID, and that's it. You have to change this to mainnet, of course, if you want to call the contract on mainnet. And once you call, you can create a new poll again for yourself, just to test, to play with this. You can create a new poll. You can see uncomment these console log results to see what happens. But basically, all in all, like you see here. So I'm creating a move call. So we create a transaction block, okay? And I'm creating a move call, and I pass those arguments like this. This is how you would pass a list, a vector of strings. You would have to serialize it like this. It's all here. And you can pass an object with the ID for the poll collection. This will create a new poll. And after you created this, you then sign and execute that transaction block with your key pair that you defined up there. After that, you can see, you can go through all of these console logs. I think it will be really helpful if you want to, because this is like one of the parts where I was mostly confused when I started with this. Because I was like, okay, I did this, I got the nested result, but what is this nested result? You know, what am I getting there? This part really shows nicely on the client side what you can get and what you can't get when you make those move calls. So uncomment these console logs, and they will show you everything. I commented out because I wanted to show you guys, but we don't have, unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go through all of this. But if you uncomment all of this out, you will get a lot of stuff. Like you will get, it will show you a lot of things, and you can just go read through them, see what happens. It will show you all the mutated objects like we did before. And one more thing that I just have to show you guys is my wallet that I voted with. I voted. Not only once, but twice. That's it. All right. If you guys have any other questions, I will leave my email on the... I left my email also on the bottom of that code share. If you have any questions, just ping.
Hello everyone, one person speaking English, right? Are you a Unity developer? Oh, okay. Da li da pričam na srpskom? Okay, I'll ask in English. Do we have Unity developers in the room? Yes, one. In the past. Okay, okay. So no Unity developers. Okay, then I'll kind of make this more interesting for general public to understand what we have built. So my name is Vitomir Evremovic. I come from All Art company. We are calling ourselves All Art Collective. We are basically a bunch of developers and people inside of the company that are building things in the Web3 space for now a while already. And one of the things why we are here and why we decided to build on SUI was that SUI is one of, let's say, 3 chains that are now very interesting for us because of the fast transactions and very low fee transactions. We started on Solana. We are still on Solana. We are very bullish on Solana, but we are also very bullish on SUI, and we like how SUI does things on-chain, off-chain, and we like to contribute to the ecosystem. And our contribution to the ecosystem is, first of all, based on open source projects that we are building in the SUI ecosystem. So we received the first grant from SUI Foundation on their first hackathon that was in Portugal, I think in 2022. So almost like a year and a half ago. And the grant was to build an open source Unity wallet. So as many of you probably know, Unity is the game engine and one of the most popular game engines, especially for building mobile apps and mobile games. So it was pretty, it was pretty obvious for us that if SUI is targeting, and it is targeting, mobile games and in general games with, it's okay, with fast transactions, it was obvious for us that for SUI it would be awesome to have a completely open source wallet solution that runs in Unity. So this is what we proposed, and this is what we launched actually last year. But what is interesting today, on this day, and something that I will show you, it's almost like a teaser, and that is like how the Unity wallet is actually used to build another product on top of it. So in Unity Game Engine, this is the Unity Game Engine. So we are using the wallet to actually build a game inside of Unity. And I can proudly say that we got our second grant from SUI Foundation just literally like last month. The final deal was signed finally last week. And today was the day that we should have presented the game on SUI Hackathon in Vietnam. But the hackathon was moved for a week. So I'm here today, and I will show you the wallet, but I will tease the game. And the game will run basically by using the wallet front end, and in the back end, the game actually runs. So the game is using all the functions of the wallet to communicate with the SUI blockchain. So inside of our open source Unity wallet, you can literally call the blockchain and have all the transactions run through the wallet. The cool thing about the wallet, having it in Unity, is the moment that you're actually having all the necessary elements of wallet creation, exporting of seed phrases, importing of seed phrases, everything, like the infrastructure for communicating with the blockchain in Unity game engine is available inside of the wallet. So if you're not a Unity developer, you can try to be a Unity developer. So anyway, let's, because you don't know Unity, you know, Deki, of course, knows Unity, and one more person knows Unity, but let me just briefly show you how this works. So I will not take a lot of your time, like literally like a couple of more minutes, but to show you how cool actually this is. So this is the what we call in Unity a prefab, which is a pre-prepared gaming object that you literally drag drop in the scene, and then you have all these screens and interfaces that you can see here that I can literally, this is the main screen, that I can, you know, deactivate that and, you know, show you a send screen. And this is a you know, send SUI screen. Then you have a lot of different screens. Intro screen, password create recovery phase, wallet screen, login, all these screens. But what is interesting here is that, as you can see, these blue game objects are actually prefab objects, which means that they are part of the prefab. But what we did with the game is we added this screen. And this is, this is a teaser, it's called Suxo, the game. So this is a game screen. So you know all the games, they have these screens in the mid-levels. Like in the middle of the level, you have a screen. So all the communication with the game manager, and with all the functionalities between levels is actually done on the screen that is integrated inside of the Unity SUI wallet. So this is what you can do. You can literally put in additional screen inside of already pre-made Unity SUI wallet and just add functionalities of your game or your app, whatever, and just put it inside of the gaming screen. And I can show you, I mean, maybe I should not show you this, but I'll show you. So I'll show you how it works. So, well, I'm not connected to the internet here. No, I am. Okay, cool. So I have the wallet, and I can enter, I can unlock the wallet, but these are, I'm sorry. But these two screens that you see, one screen, actually the password screen, happens within the wallet functionalities, but then that screen calls the game screen. And then we just implemented a button here that calls the rest of the wallet. And when you click on the wallet, you actually get, you know, the wallet screen that was supposed to be inside of the Unity SUI wallet implementation. And then you can, of course, switch wallets. You have, you know, you can add new wallet. You can create a new wallet. Yeah, I saved my recovery keys. And so on. And then when you go back to the wallet, you can have, you know, different wallets. You can switch the wallets. We will call these players. Okay, we will not call them wallets. We will call them create a new player, because we don't want Apple and Google to actually know that this is a wallet. So we want them to think this is a game. You understand what I mean, right? So we will just rename these, and I'll show you how easy it is to rename these things. It's just when I go here inside of the scene, and if you're not developing in Unity, you don't know what you're missing, right? So this is super easy. So you have a main screen here, you have a wallet, you have a button, you know, like these little things. And then I can literally, like, you know, find somewhere in the scene. Like here is the logo. We place the logo of Suxo, but we can change this. We can change to any type of, you know, graphics. So this is how it is easy to develop something like this. And then you have a label which says wallet 1, and I will just say player 1, you know, and then it says player 1. So so, you know, quick and fast development. But anyway, this is in play mode, so for everybody that knows Unity and nobody knows Unity, this will go off when I switch the play button off. So the point that I want to make is that by using our Unity wallet integration, you can build on top of it. You can integrate within it. Like literally, you can put screens inside of it. You can create new screens. You can modify the screens that already exist. So what we will do is, and I can do that actually live now on stage. Now, let me show you this. This is what I was planning, Deki, to do actually in the last, I mean, yeah, tomorrow probably. I'll do this. So, in 2 hours, yes. Everything is done in 2 hours. 5 minutes. So, this is our splash screen in Unity. So, the big, you know, the start of the wallet, the main screen that you get when you start the wallet. And here, you have a logo. And then, for example, you imported the whole Unity wallet inside of your own project, and this is how easy you can literally change the logo and put your own logo. And okay, cool, let's make it a little bit bigger because branding is important. And then subtext, welcome to SUI Gaming experience. Right? So now this becomes my launch screen. And when I start the whole app, actually this is what will be shown at the beginning. And yeah, so you see? Cool, right? That's why I urge developers to, if they're not Unity savvy, they can try Unity and have a way to code a SUI game or SUI whatever experience just by downloading and integrating our Unity SUI wallet. So it's on our GitHub. It's all our protocols GitHub. You can literally search for it in Google, SUI Unity wallet, all art. You can find it. What is also important is that we will push the update for the wallet next week. When the game goes out, also the update for the wallet will go out with some improvements. That's improvement branch. And yeah, that's about it. And we really like developing on SUI, for SUI, and we will experiment a lot. And maybe I can add one more thing before I finish. So the idea of building an open source game together with the wallet integration is not, hey, we have some cool grant, let's build something. It's about experimenting with tokenomics. It's about experimenting with new token models. So the game will have new token that is minted for the game while the game is played. And while you're playing the game, you will mint the tokens, you will receive the tokens, then you will spend the tokens to play new levels. So we want to kind of create this, sandbox environment for a simple game that then other developers can take and extend and play around with, create new models, define how much every level is worth, maybe change the gameplay to something else, have the same tokenomics inside a new game. Just experiment. Because we think that not all token models will work. Some will create, inflation, deflation. It will not be easy to develop a proper token model for a game. But at least here is a sandbox, here is a Unity game that you can play, that you can develop, extend, bring new versions. Who knows what will happen? And this is what we like, to actually give it away to community and then just go and build stuff. And for the end, I'll show you, this is not just some fake Unity game that doesn't run on a mobile. I can show you here. So this is, the game running on a mobile. And I can show you the game, but you know, like, don't tell anybody about it. It's not a snake game. It's some old school game. Anyway, and you see, you have a wallet here, and I was expecting actually to receive SUI on a SUI wallet on a mobile phone. And I prepared our wallet inside of our game to actually receive SUIs, but it didn't happen. I just need to paste the address. But anyway, it's okay. So this is real. And for any Unity SUI developer, we encourage everybody, maybe someone is watching online. Hi, just download the Unity package, install it, there are instructions. You can use it easily, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much.
Just want to thank everyone for being here. Once again, I hope it was interesting. If you have any questions, I believe my colleague Ivor shared his email. Feel free to ping. I did see the sound from the group was also opening up pull requests on the GitHub repo. That person can find me after I finish this. That would be great. I'm really interested. And that's basically it. Once again, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.